Hi, so today I'm going to discuss the topic of generalization. Generalization is a skill that a lot of those with autism really struggle with, and a lot of people are not really trained on it. That's been kind of a surprise to me in my research and training, and as much as research discusses the challenges of generalization for those with autism, we really need to step up a lot more on teaching others about generalization. Now, obviously this is going to be a super quick run through of it, but it's just a very needed topic to discuss with therapists, with teachers, with parents, lots and lots of people who engage with those with autism on generalization skills. So I'm going to give an example and then I'll kind of explain through to kind of help you understand. If you take a picture of a dog, and it's an actual photo of a dog, so a photo of a dog, and you show it to a young child with autism, and you say dog, and they understand dog, okay? You can show it to them over and over, they understand that's dog. The child with autism is probably going to undergeneralize to the point that the only thing they think is a dog is an animal that looks just like that one. That exact dog is the only one they think is a dog. So they're not going to understand different breeds of dogs or anything like that whatsoever. If you show that same picture, that same photo to a child without autism, they tend to overgeneralize. So to that child, it may be anything that has 4 legs and is brown is a dog. They may think cats, cows, horses, deer. They may think lots of things are dogs. And so a lot of times that's what we're used to with children overgeneralizing. And so they think, everything's a dog. And we kind of chuckle when the kid, calls a cat a dog. And we're like, oh, no, sweetie, this is a cat and this is why. And we explain that. But for someone with autism, they undergeneralize. They are so into details much of the time that they are looking at very specific characteristics and they think all dogs look like German Shepherds, or all dogs look like a collie, because that's what they were shown a picture of and explained dog, or that's what their family pet is, or their neighbor's dog, or whatever, the one that they're familiar with. And so they think that everything has to be exactly like that to be called a dog. Whereas to us, we would say, okay, that's a German Shepherd dog, or that is a collie dog. And we understand that there are different categorizations of the general word of dog. Now, to explain this further, this generalization skill goes all the way up. Now, a lot of times when you get older, you kind of understand categories, and once you can explain categories to children, that helps a lot. And then so you teach the broad category, then you kind of break down the specifics. So if you are working with a child with autism, you may need multiple pictures of a dog. You may need different breeds to show them these are all different kinds of dogs, whereas you wouldn't normally have to go that much into detail for a child without autism. So it's just important to remember, also be careful when you're giving instruction or teaching in some way, whether that's your own child or working in a therapy setting or in a classroom setting. Be sure that you're giving multiple examples, and be sure that you understand that the child may get confused with that. So a lot of times on assessment, and this is where when I mentioned about IQ assessments that are challenging, because these kiddos undergeneralize, they may miss a question, they may miss an entire concept. Not because they don't understand the information, but literally because someone didn't tell them this is a category, okay? And you may not be able to use that word with little bitty kids, but they may not understand that if it's asking a question about a dog, it's asking about all different kinds of dogs, all different ages of dogs. So be sure when you're explaining concepts or showing them pictures or teaching in some capacity that you are very clear about that with the individual with autism, because this is across the board a very common challenge for those with autism. And it's a beautiful thing because it means that a lot of times they're so focused on details, they pick up on things that the rest of us don't always see, but it can be very challenging and frustrating to them in an education setting or education capacity, because we a lot of times don't specify, I'm talking about all dogs or this specific one dog this time.